In this video, I'll be discussing rolling without slipping on an inclined plane. Rolling without slipping on an inclined plane. So let us analyze the case. We have an inclined plane which is inclination is theta. Suppose that there is a body of mass m. So let me draw a body which has mass m, and let's say the center of mass of this body is, let's say, point C, and moment of inertia I can define I is equal to mk square, where k is the radius of gyration, right? So if these things are provided, and of course suppose that absolute radius is r is the radius of the body, then my question or my concept is here: what is the minimum acceleration we need of center of mass and friction force? So calculate ACM, which is acceleration of center of mass and friction force. Let us assume this is a rough surface. So how much minimum friction force is required so such that this body does rolling without slipping on this inclined plane while coming down, correct? So how to analyze the case? So first of all, draw the FBD, free body diagram. So if we draw the free body diagram here, this is the inclined plane. So obviously there will be a normal reaction passing through this point C, which is center. Of course there will be a force mg downwards. As this angle is theta, we know that this angle becomes theta, then we can write this is going to be the mg sin theta, and obviously this will become mg cos theta, two components, right? And we define that acceleration of center of mass is like this, and here I am drawing with separate color here because this point, obviously friction force is like this, because let me define here. If you see the bottommost point P, so at P, if you see, because of the translational motion, because of this ACM, obviously this particle is having ACM, which is the acceleration, and because of the pure rolling without slipping, we need to have, there is certainly another acceleration which is due to rotational motion, alpha r. That's why we are providing alpha this side, such that at bottom most point P, ACM minus alpha r should be equal to 0, right? Because this is the condition for rolling without slipping, right? This is the condition for rolling without slipping. That means our ACM will be simply is equal to alpha r, correct? Now this is the analysis of the forces. So we can now draw the conclusion on the basis of this FBD. We can write down the equations. So for translational motion, we can write, certainly there is net force. If you have taken, these are the two axes, x and y. So for x direction, let us define net force summation of F net should be is equal to m into a. This is the Newton's relation with acceleration and force. So here mg sin theta minus f is the value of net force, m into ACM. So that's how we can define. This is our equation number 1, which is pretty helpful for us. Now if you see, f is one variable and ACM is another variable, so we have two variables. Now it is not possible to solve this equation without any further condition, so we have to write another equation for rotational motion. So for rotational motion, we know that summation of all torque about any particular point, so here point is center of mass, will be is equal to I center of mass into alpha, right? Alpha is the angular acceleration. So now if you apply this relation, so you need to write the value of torque first of all. So if you see clearly, torque about center of mass, so how many forces are there? So N is passing through this point, so for the torque we need to have perpendicular distance. So for normal reaction there is no perpendicular distance, because about point C this force is passing through point C itself, so no perpendicular distance, so that means there is no torque because of N. Similarly, because of mg there will not be any torque. Why? Because again this mg is also passing through C. So now we have already considered mg, so mg sin theta and mg cos theta separately we do not have to consider, and then only force which is remaining is friction force. So friction force, so line of action of friction force is this, perpendicular distance is this r, radius, right? So that means plus F into R is the torque. And see how this force is trying to rotate this body, of course like this, right? That should be is equal to ICM into alpha, and I can write F into R. ICM will be mk square, because we have defined radius of gyration concept earlier. So we achieved that mk square into alpha. Now we know that ACM is equal to alpha R, so we can put the alpha is equal to ACM upon R. So if you substitute this thing in the equation, we get mk square into ACM upon R. Perfect. So from here we get the value of F is equal to mk square into ACM upon R square. So this is our another equation. So we achieved a relation between F and R. So now what I can do, I can directly substitute this value in equation number 1. So let us remove this point, these diagrams which we don't need now finally. So put the value of F in equation number 1. So we can write mg sin theta minus this is mk square into ACM upon R square is equal to m into ACM. So we can take this whole term to that side and we can take m ACM common. This will lead to mk square upon r square, and interestingly this m and m is cancelled out. So our task was to calculate the value of ACM, which is nothing else g sin theta upon 1 plus here we have taken m common, so this m will not be there, k square upon r square. So we have achieved the value of ACM. Now if we want to calculate the value of f, so f can be achieved, that is mk square into ACM. This is the relation, so we are putting the value, this is g sin theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square, and of course this r square was here, so f will be is equal to, so what I can do here, I can remove this part in order to find out the final value of f. So this f can be written as m g sin theta into k square upon r square 1 plus k square upon r square. Now this can be written as mg sin theta into k square, you can multiply this k r square, so this is r square plus k square, and then f is equal to mg sin theta. This will become 1 upon, we can take this k square in denominator, so this is r square plus k square upon k square, and then we can further rearrange it. So f is equal to mg sin theta upon, now we can divide, then this will be 1 plus r square upon k square. So this is going to be the value of friction force. So that means this is the minimum friction always needed for rolling without slipping on an inclined plane. Correct, on an inclined plane. That means now you might be thinking that these two answers are like here there can be a confusion if I say you to remember both of these. So I would suggest you to remember only this ACM is equal to g sin theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square, because if you remember this formula, then friction force easily can be calculated. Otherwise if you remember both the formulas, then it can create confusion, right? So in order to prevent that confusion, you can remember this formula for ACM. Now what is the advantage of using this formula? Here let me give you one example why I was interested in doing this particular thing. So let's say in your exam question is coming, there is a angle of inclination, let's say theta is equal to 30 degree, and we have a solid sphere starting from rest. Now suppose they are asking how much time it will take to come in the position A to position B. So I'm asking find the value of time taken by the solid sphere in coming down from position A to position B, right? So angle of inclination is given, which is theta is equal to 30 degree, and they want to know the value of time. And let us take this height is given to be, or this length is given to be directly, which is L. So now if you remember that formula, which formula? Acceleration of center of mass formula was g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square. This was our formula. Now if this is a solid sphere, we know that ICM will be 2 by 5 mr square, and we know that in terms of radius of gyration we can write this is mk square. So this is cancelled out. So clearly k square upon r square is as easy to calculate, simply 2 by 5, and theta is of course is 30 degree, and taking g is equal to, let's say, 10 meter per second square, just I'm taking here. So if that is true, then we can write 10 into sine 30 divided by 1 plus 2 by 5. So ACM will be nothing else 10 into 1 by 2 upon, this is 7 by 5, this is 5, so this will be simply 25 by 7 meter per second square. This is the value of ACM. Now once I have done this, now this question will be very simple. Why? Because now you have the question simply that how much time it is taking. So obviously it is started from rest, so from rest, that means u will be 0. We got the value of ACM, which is 25 by 7 meter per second square, and we can apply S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so now here S is nothing else L, u is 0, half A is nothing else ACM into t square. So clearly t will be equal to 12 by ACM and under root. We can substitute the values. So this is 12 by under root of 25 by 7. So these many seconds will be there. Of course I can write it 14L by 25 seconds, or simply we can write 1 upon 5 under root of 14L seconds. So of course L will be provided, so you can easily calculate the value of time. Now think, if you were not able to calculate with the help of ACM, then how would you go for this question and how much tough it will be? So of course, in order to skip that huge calculation part, if you can remember this formula within 2 minutes, you could have easily achieved your answer for time. Okay, and this is really very important. I must suggest you again, you should remember at least ACM, which is simply g sine theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square, which I utilized here. Okay, yeah.